start? Oh, I forget. Online can't hear me if I'm not on a microphone. Oh, it's right here too, right next to me. But we've had a very exciting week. Some of you guys started school this week. Some of you guys start next week. Some of you guys start whenever you want because you're homeschooled. Yeah, so very exciting. All sorts of fun is to be had. So I just want to pray over this week and pray over today. Oh, not yet, yeah. Some of you are getting ready, so. All right, go ahead and put your hands together. 4 days, that's exciting. All right, I'm going to pray over today and this week. Hang on. All right, put your hands together. Okay, anything that might be distracting you, go ahead and set off to the side right now. All right, Miss Birdie, we're going to pray now. Okay, dear God, we just thank you for today. We thank you that we just had so much fun today already, just worshiping you. We're excited to learn more about you and how much you love us. We just ask that you bless this week as we start school, or maybe it's in our next week of school. Things that might make us nervous, that you help make us brave in that, and just help us have an amazing rest of the day. In your name, amen. All right, preschool, you are allowed to line up now.
And elementary, let's say goodbye to our preschool friends. Say bye-bye.
All right, line up. Oh, let them go. All right, make sure they have all of their friends, their furry little raccoons. I'm a raccoon. All right, au revoir, preschool.
Adieu.
Farewell.
Adieu. Adios.
No. So sorry.
I'm trying to think if I know how to say goodbye in Japanese. I know like 3 different ways to say hello.
Hang on. Let me think here. Konnichiwa
Sayonara?
is hello.
I think it's sayonara, isn't it?
No, that is definitely not Japanese.
Sayonara is not Japanese.
No.
Can somebody look up how to say goodbye
Is it
in Japanese?
sayonara Spanish?
No.
I thought that was. No, it's not Japanese. I know, konnichiwa. I thought it was like see you later.
Hola, ¿cómo estás, Juby?
It's I know how to say, like, when you're thankful for your food.
Oh.
You say itataki.
Sayonara is goodbye in Japanese.
Wow, that's a new one for me. I swear it was not Japanese. I even studied Japanese, so that's funny.
That's really hilarious.
Well, to be fair, it was like a month from a friend.
Charity, can we get the first set of lights on?
All right. Ladies, this is what I need from you. All the ladies over here. All the boys over here.
Up in front of
we got some memory verse challenge for you.
We have our verse that we're going to work on. Now, there is some points at stake. We are doing a boys versus girls points each week challenge. I'll explain it a little bit more, but just know that there is some points at stake here. But we have a new verse. We are 1 Corinthians 13, 6 through 7. Juby, if those are your shoes, I need them on your feet. All right. Everybody's learning the verse motions today because it's brand new. We're going to do love does not delight in evil. So love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Because to persevere means to continue to wait and endure and like patience over a long period of time. All right, so we have love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. First Corinthians, a C, 13. your 10 toes and 3 fingers. 13, 6, and 7. So we're going to do it all together, nice big voices, and then we're going to do boys versus girls. But let's do it together. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. 1 Corinthians 13, 6 and 7. All right. Les, boys. Boys, do you want to go first or second? Second. They want to go second. Girls, you're first. Girls, big voices, no squealing. We're seeing who can be the loudest. All right, 3, 2, 1. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. 1 Corinthians 13, 6 and 7. Wait right here. All right, boys. They did really good. All right, boys. 3, 2, 1. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. 1 Corinthians 13, 6, 7. Kindergarten, 1st grade on blue benches, 2nd and 3rd grade yellow benches, 4th and 5th red benches. Everybody quietly take a seat. I need my trash can full of points. I need my girls' point bucket right there. I need my boys' point bucket right here. All right. All voices off. Let's see which side I can get the quietest right now. Oh. Who is seated quiet? All right. All right. Yeah, that first yellow bench, let's scoot it forward. All right. Let's see. Are all the boys sitting quietly? I think they are. I'm going to give 2 points to the boys for sitting quietly. Let's see. Girls, are we about finished? All right. Mario, can I get a count of kiddos really quick? Thank you. I'm going to do 1 point for the girls. I know. I'm about ready to deal with it. Cohen, you were bugging him? I was going to do 3 for the boy. Okay, I did let the boys know because sometimes the boys have a hard time with wanting to participate with praise and worship. So I told them if they were participating in our corner where they think they're just too cool for school, that I would give them some points for participating in praise and worship. So I am going to go ahead and do that. But next time, Cohen, if you're bugging my leaders about it after I told you to endure and just persevere. 53. I think I'm going to be okay. Yeah. All right. But I have 5 points for the side that was the loudest for our verse. Drum roll, please. And our boys versus girls challenge, winning 5 points. The winning team is Girls. Mr. Mario got so grumpy with me he did his hands on the fist, like the hands on the hips, and now he's like this. The only thing he didn't do was stomp his foot. I was like almost, he just did. I have never seen him throw such a tantrum about that. It's okay, boys, you get next week to try. I know that there are more, but sometimes it's not about how many there are. There's times the boys have like blown the girls out of the water. So that's part of it, but the girls, it's okay. It is okay. Now, here's the thing. We have a new unit that we are doing, and as you can tell, for the month of September, we are going to have some raccoon representatives because we have a unit called What's Next, where it is a game show hosted by a raccoon. In fact, let me have Ricky the raccoon explain himself. There's the first video.
Ladies and germs and squids of all ages, I'm your host, Ricky Raccoon, and you're the next contestant on What's Next? It's the game show where we press pause on the Bible so you can guess what happens next in the story. You better stay sharp though, 'cause if your team loses, you'll be spinning the wheel of misfortune. So what are you waiting for? It's time to play Ricky Raccoon's What's Next?
Okay, so what's going to happen is, you can win points as well as lose points from your team basket based on what happens during the lesson time. And here, with this month, at different points during our Bible story, we're going to pause, and there's going to be a multiple choice question about what happens next in the story, and you will get to vote using little cards. I'm going to have the leaders right now go ahead, and everybody's going to we're going to start with the little card set, but the kids in the back row might need the larger card set. But we're going to pass them out. As you get this card set, you'll notice it has an A, a B, a C, and a D, and that's how you're going to vote for your answer that you think of what happens next in the story. Now, while they're passing those out, there's a couple things that we need to just kind of review before we get into our game. Now, over the last couple weeks, we've been learning how God created everything. Like in the beginning, there was nothing, and then God spoke and created the universe and created the planet and all the animals in the planet and everything that we see. And then God created Adam and Eve. And they lived in the perfect world that God created. And Adam and Eve, who can hold up how many fingers? How many rules did Adam and Eve have? One. That's a point for the girls. Good job, girls. Adam and Eve only had one rule. Did they follow the rule? No. They couldn't even follow the one rule that they were given. And sin came into the world. Okay? Now, what I need, everybody, I need you to take your answer cards and I want you to put them on the floor at your feet. I want hands empty right now. Yep, there you go. Let's see which team gets it done first for the point. Sitting quietly, let's see. I think that's a point for the girls. Oh, one of the girls actually didn't, so maybe I'll even it out. We'll do a point for the boys on that one. Here's the thing. Adam and Eve couldn't even follow the one rule, and sin came into the world. Sin is when we know something's wrong and we do it anyways. Like, you know it's wrong to hit somebody, but sometimes your brother or sister makes you really, really mad, and so when nobody's looking, you just kind of hit them. Well, that's sin. You knew it was wrong, but you chose to do it anyways. But sin is also when you know something's right that you're supposed to do, and you don't do it. You know you're supposed to keep your room clean, but you don't feel like doing it, and you want to play games instead, and so you don't clean your room. That is also sin. So sin is when we do something we know we're not supposed to, or we don't do the things we're supposed to. And it didn't just stay with Adam and Eve, it spread to everyone. And it got to the point where people were thinking about evil all the time, doing evil things all the time, and it was getting to the point where God's rescue plan couldn't happen, and so God had to start over. And so he sent the flood, and one man saved all the types of animals by building something. What did he build? A boat. And as Jacob said, it was called an ark. And it was big enough for Noah and his family and all the animals. So you would think that we wouldn't have a problem with sin anymore, right? We do still have a problem because it was Noah and his wife and his 3 sons and their 3 wives. So that was 8 people, and those 8 people still did things that they knew were wrong. And it just kept on getting like that. So people started filling the earth again, and sin was still a problem. And so God's like, I'm going to do the next step for my rescue plan. And so God was looking for one person who would trust him and follow him. And I love how all the boys still have their cards on the floor. So the boys are getting another point. Okay? I'm going to read in the book of Genesis, chapter 12, God found a man named Abram, who later changed his name to Abraham. So if you hear Abraham or Abram, it's the same one. But God found one man, Abraham, who was willing to listen and trust God. God had said to Abram, go from your country, your people, and your father's house to the land I will show you. God said, Abram, I want you to leave. Leave your family, leave the country, and I'll tell you where to go. Okay, where am I going? Just start walking. Abraham packed up everything and just started walking without knowing where he was going. Would that be hard to do? Leave everything behind and just start walking? Here's what God promised. I will make you, Abram, into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse, and all the people on earth will be blessed through you. So Abram went on the promise that God would turn him, an individual person, into a great big nation. Abram was 75 years old when he left. Does that sound kind of old? I mean, that's not young anymore. So at 75 years old, Abram left following God, but as things kind of happened, I know. As he started traveling and moving, at one point Abram's like, hey God, it's great that you're going to bless me and everything, but I don't have any kids. So what's the purpose of you giving me blessings and making me into a great nation? I have no one to leave it to. So what do you think happens next in your story? Go ahead and grab your answer cards from the floor, and let's watch the video to see what our question is.
All right, kids, it's time to tell me what's next. God promised to give Abraham as many family members as what? A, fish in the sea. B, stars in the sky. C, blades of grass in the field. Or D, raccoons in a trash dumpster. What do you think, kiddos?
All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds. I'm going to count down from 10. You need to hold facing forward A, B, C, or D to what you think. The answer is hold it up, show me up at front. Grant, you're going to write your answer on that. Quickly, 10, 9, 8, 7. I need Avery over here. I need Daniel over here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. No. Well, maybe if you're willing to pick them all up.
I can get the kids to do it. They'll help me.
Oh, here's what we're going to do. At the end of class, does the winning side, Daniel or Avery, will get to dump the bucket on the losing one.
Come on, guys.
Okay?
Want to see the girls get balls on them? We got it.
Okay?
And the answer.
Oh, on us?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the kids too. All right. Everybody hold it up. Ooh. Let's see. And the answer is?
There is B, stars in the sky.
All right. Looking at the proportion of answers correct versus wrong, I'm going to do 5 points for the boys, 4 points for the girls. Okay? Now, God promised Abram that he was going to have so many family members, it would be like trying to count the stars in the sky. Has anybody ever just at night tried counting how many stars are up there? Do you usually lose count and kind of just give up? Well, depending on where you live and how much light is filling the sky, sometimes there's so many stars you can't even count, and sometimes you're like one star in the sky. But God said as many stars in the sky is how many family members there's going to be. Let's see, which team is seated quietly right now? That's going to be a point for the girls. Now, Abram probably looked at the night sky without all the light pollution and all the lights from electricity. He probably looked at the night sky and saw so many stars that you couldn't even count them, even if you stayed awake all night. And Abram believed that God was going to give him a promise. And he believed. But then a year passed, no kid. Another year passed, no kid. 20 years passed, still no kid. And Abram and Sarah are starting to get impatient, and they're wanting to do things on their own instead of waiting for God, because God's like taking forever. And things didn't really work out well. But it got to the point where somewhere around 24 years after waiting for God's promise, God decided he was going to talk to Abram again. All right, are you guys ready for our next question to figure out what happens next? All right, let's watch our next.
Once again, it's time to tell me what's next. After quite some time, God appeared to Abraham in what form? A man. B, a burning bush. C, a cloud. Or D, a dirty shoe from the dumpster. Tell me what you think, kiddos.
All right, 10 seconds. A man. B, burning bush. C, cloud. D, dirty shoe from the dumpster. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh no! Grant, I'm sorry. Hold on. Mario, can you look for a whiteboard marker for Quincy, please? All right. I know. I'm trying. Let's see. Hold up. Everybody hold it up. I'm looking to see how many have it right. Okay. Let's see what our answer is, Roman.
And the answer is A, a man.
You know what I'm laughing at is most of the ones who got it correct were our younger kiddos. All right, it's going to be 5 points for the girls and 4 points for the boys. I'm looking to see. I know, but it's okay. But here's the thing. Those of you had B, God appeared in a burning bush talking to Moses, and God appeared as a cloud whenever he was leading the Israelites out of Egypt. And so if you put B or C, those are forms that God had taken in the Old Testament, just not with Abram. See, in this part of the story, one day, 3 men came to where Abram and Sarah were staying. And Abram knew that this was God who had come to talk to him. It wasn't just 3 random people, but God had come to talk to him. And so Abram offered to make them food, something to eat. And while they were talking, God said to Abraham, I'll surely return to you next year. And by that time, your wife, Sarah, will have a son. It was finally happening. But you see, there was just one problem. Do you remember how old I said Abraham was when God first gave him the promise he was going to be a great nation? He was 75. And this is 24 years later. So how old is he now? 99. And Sarah was 10 years younger, so she was 89. That's older than your grandparents. Okay, well, most of your grandparents are probably like in their 50s or 60s. So, do you see a lot of older people in their 80s, 90s, close to 100 having babies? No. Our next question, what happens next? What do you think? What do you think was their reaction to God saying, next year, I'm going to come back and you're going to have a baby? Let's hear what our next question is. Okay.
Knock, knock. Guess who? It's time to tell me what's next. Sarah was listening at the entrance of her tent. When she heard what God said, what did she do? A, she cried. B, she laughed. C, she shouted, that's impossible. Or D, she climbed into a dumpster and took a nap. Tell me what you think, kiddos.
All right, you have 10 seconds. Stop trying to cheat, Quincy. What if you're telling everybody the wrong answer? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold up your answers. Let's see. What did Sarah do? Okay, I see the answers. Roman, let's see what the answer is.
And the answer is B. She left.
Oh, I know what I would have done, and I don't think laugh is the correct answer. I think cry. I would have cried, or that's impossible. But Sarah laughed. We're going to do 2 points for the boys and 5 points for the girls. Quincy, you told everybody the wrong answer. Let them choose. All right. Let's see who's seated quietly right now. see, are the boys going to earn a point? Here's the thing. Sarah heard what God said, and she just started laughing. I'm way too old. I'm tired. I'm worn out. What does he mean I'm going to have a baby? Do you know who heard her laughing? God. And God went to Abram and was asking him, he's like, why did Sarah laugh? Like, this is God who created the universe by speaking. Is it so hard to make an older woman have a baby? He created everything out of nothing, and it's going to be impossible for that. She thought it was so funny, but God repeated the promise and said, nothing is too hard for me. I will come back next year and Sarah will have a son. And that is exactly what happened. Sarah became pregnant, and later that year, she gave birth to a baby boy. We have our last question of what happens next, but this time it's going to be worth double the points. 10 points are at stake. Let's see what our last question is.
Ready or not, it's time to tell me what's next. When the baby was born, Abraham gave him a special name. What was it? A, Joseph, which means miracle child. B, Esau, which means surprise. C, Isaac, which means laughter. Or D, Ricky, which means you're gonna eat that dirty burrito. Tell me what you think, kiddos.
All right, hold up your answer. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Hold up your answer. Hold it still. Ooh, it looks like there's a lot of indecision between A or C. Okay. What is her answer?
And the answer is C, Isaac, which means laughter.
All right, we're going to do 7 for girls, 5 for boys. 10 were possible, but how many get awarded is dependent on how many in the team had the correct answer. Okay, so 10 were possible. All right. Everybody drop your cards down on the floor. There are still another 4 possible for listening and following directions. Boys, see, God kept his promise to Abram, even though they had to wait a really long time. 25 years is a really long time, but God didn't forget about his promise to Abraham. And in fact, God gave more than Abraham a promise. You guys know what a promise is, right? It's when you say you're going to do something and sometimes we don't do it. Anybody ever promise you're going to do something? I promise that I'll clean my room later. Can I just please finish playing this game? Anybody ever say something like that and you really, really mean it, but then you forget about doing what you promised because you got distracted? And did you do what you promised? No. Did you mean to forget about it? No, it's just sometimes we forget. Or has anybody ever made a promise knowing that you weren't going to do it, but you just said, if you give me this, share your snack with me now, I promise I'll share a snack with you tomorrow. But in your mind, you're like, I hope they forget because you don't want to. I've done that before. But sometimes our parents make a promise and then things change and it doesn't happen. Do we get sad or angry when somebody promises something and it doesn't come through? Yeah. So sometimes promises get broken, whether it's us or it's other people. But God had something stronger than a promise, something called a covenant. Now, covenant gets a little messy, so we're going to have Ricky the raccoon, who likes messy stuff. We're going to let Ricky kind of explain what covenant means. Okay. No, not that. It's a type of promise. Well, let's watch the What's Next video.
Hey, kids, here's a story so strange, you'll never guess what's next. In the Bible, in the book of Genesis chapter 15, God promised Abraham that one day he would have as many descendants as there are stars in the sky. Man, talk about a family reunion. To show Abraham how serious he was about this promise, God told Abraham to get a cow, a goat, and a ram. Here's where things get a little messy. Abraham cut the animals in half. Then he laid each half on the ground with space in between. After a little while, the blood from the animals filled up the space. In order to seal the deal, God passed between the animal parts and through the blood. Yuck! So you might be wondering why in the world God would have Abraham do that. Well, in the Old Testament, this was people's way of saying, if I don't come through on my promise, may I be like those animals. You know, kick the bucket, bite the biscuit, taking a dirt nap, dead. In other words, I swear on my life that I'll do it. That's how serious God was about his promise. Nowadays, when people make promises, they just shake hands. The animals like it much better that way.
All right, so in the Old Testament, a covenant was a promise that could not be broken, because if you break the covenant promise, what's the punishment? Death. So if the punishment for forgetting to clean your room whenever you promised you would was death, would you forget to clean your room? No, because there was a serious consequence. So if God promises something in the Bible, is it a serious promise that he is always going to keep? Yes. So when God makes a promise, and we see it in the Old Testament, we know that the promises in the Bible God will always keep, because there's a serious consequence. Our verse that goes with today is Psalms 145:13. Can we get Psalms 145:13 on the screen, Roman? Psalms 145:13. The Lord will keep all his promises. He is faithful in everything he does. Psalms 145:13. When you see that God promises something in the Bible, it will happen. We're going to break up into small groups and take a look at, we're going to play a game where you try to determine whether something is a promise or is not a promise from the Bible. But let's go ahead and we are going to pray. Father God, I want to thank you that you love each and every single one of us who are here. That you loved us so much that you made a covenant to be with us, a covenant to love us and protect us, and that you wanted us to be part of your family. Father God, help us to understand how great your love is. And this week, help us to look for you in the ways around us and the ways that people keep their promises. And I just ask that you just surround each one of these kiddos, be a peace and a protection over them. In Jesus' name, Amen. All right.